And we are live, and we're here today with our new favorite Canadian,
Yep.
Trinity Cunningham. How are you, Trinity?
I'm very good. How are you?
And
Good.
how sad is it that your life has reached the point where you decided to say yes to the invitation to come on this show?
What's that? Sorry? I missed that.
I don't even want to repeat it now. It's like,
I'm sorry.
just how does it feel to have your life be at a point where you said yes to come on this show?
This is great. I like this. This is fun. This is fun, right?
So before we forget, if you've seen the show, you know this is going to happen. Can you look up and tell us what it is? Because we may not talk about it again after this.
Yes, yeah. It's Bloodbound. And
we'll talk about
it. Yeah. My quick spiel is that it's about a curse and it wipes out magic from the land. These twin brothers, their blood is entwined with it. They don't realize it, mistakenly break the curse, reawaken the magic, and draw the attention of the tyrant ruler who wants to get rid of magic once and for all.
Okay.
That is my well-practiced spiel.
Nice.
Is that your first book?
That is my first. Yeah. That's the first in a trilogy. So the second one is hopefully by
freaking
spring.
enormous. It's a trilogy on its own. Hold that thing up.
It's
Yeah,
it's
that
a
way.
solid book. People pick it up and they're like,
How many pages?
516.
Okay. Oh, I mean,
You missed Mike's cutoff of 500.
Yeah, right. You know, I've heard it's a quick read from other people that like once you get like in it, it's I'm biased. I can't say that from my own.
Now, I have to look something up real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
okay. So, and Trinity, I beg your indulgence here, but these just arrived today.
I saw that. That's amazing.
It's coming out late this month, so it's actually real because I have a physical copy now. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
I didn't think we were going to do a self-promoting commercial there, Mike.
You said I had a minute, so.
If there's any chance, I want to get this out there right away. Is there any chance that you and Nick are going to get together and do a book team up with Bloodbound and Fogbound?
I don't know. It depends on the story, the level of fantasy, I guess. I don't know. It's possible.
It could get bound up. It's all right. Cool.
Yeah.
We can have him on here and call it The Bound and the Broken, except I think that title's taken.
I think I saw that one there somewhere too. I've got the second book is actually Unbound, so it's kind of keeping up with the Bound theme.
Is that your second book?
Yeah. The second one is being called Unbound at the moment, but then I saw that there was a recent release and somebody had called theirs Unbound, and I'm like, oh no, like I don't know what to do now. Do I go and change it or keep it? And it's part of the Guardians of the Well of Firestone trilogy, and just it's one of those things. It's like
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to lean into that whole Bound thing now.
Yeah. At the third book, I haven't come up with a title for that goes along that theme, and I'm like, maybe I'll just break it and be that person that's like, it's not part of the look.
So, as your first book, when did you start writing that thing?
2020. It was a COVID project. We'll call it that.
And what do you do when you're not writing?
I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids, so I had to kick my family out of the house today.
I was gonna say, when do you find time? I mean, I take it they're all pretty young.
Yeah, they're 5, 7, and 9, and it used to be that I would stay up till like 3 a.m. and like when everybody went to bed, I just write. And now that was when we homeschooled, so I was able to get up a little later and I didn't have to get up for school with them. But now I kicked them all out of the house for school, and I have to figure out something else that I haven't figured out yet.
Kid-bound. It begins.
Kid-bound. That's exactly.
5, 7, and 9. That is quite the time to be taking on a side project as in depth as right. Thank you, El. That's exactly it. A side project as in depth as a 515-page debut novel with 2 more to come.
It was longer before my editor looked at it. Then it was like, okay, we cut it back some. But no, definitely, it's been a crazy couple of years with it, and it was mostly like I kind of came to this point where I realized, okay, I've got my kids, and this is always what I wanted to do, was raise my kids and have a family. And now I'm like, well, what do I do when they grow up? Because they grow up and they move out, and then I don't have a life. So it's like kind of figuring out what I like.
To grow up and move out, you know.
They are. It's a good thing. I want that. I just need to figure out my own life too. So I figured I like writing. So I started. When I was younger, I had said, I remember it. I said, I'll never write a book. There's too many details. Too many details. I used to do screenplay writing. I went to courses and I did screenplay writing, and so it was a lot simpler in the sense of a brief description of the setting and then the text and the dialogue, real quick and easy. I say easy. It's not now that I'm going backwards. But then 2020 hit, and I'm like, I'm going to write a book. And sat down and didn't have any plan whatsoever and just started writing.
You just did that really as a way to lock yourself away in a room with an excuse to a couple hours of solitude.
Yeah. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. This is.
I'm in my own world.
How long was it when you locked yourself in that room before you actually started writing? Because I'm assuming there was a month or so where it was just like playing Civilization or something, right? Just.
It was like, I don't know. I took a story that I had written a screenplay from before, so I did have something to work off of. So when I sat down, I kind of was going with what I had already, just making it a full novel with description, and then I had to imagine these worlds. And
do you have the whole trilogy all planned out?
No. Actually, it's the first one started out as it was supposed to be a sci-fi. It was supposed to take place in the Caspian Mountains in Russia, and it had like some cool tech. It was supposed to be like nothing fantasy whatsoever, no magic. And then I just started writing it, and it came out very different from what I had thought. So when I started writing Blood&Bound, I was writing a prologue with the twin brothers, and then not realizing that I needed a whole story for this. So it was going to be mixed story, the second book. And then I decided, no, it's going to be an entire book unto itself. And that's kind of how it started. But I didn't like the idea of stopping at two. So I have one book, Blood&Bound, the second book is the sequel, and then the third book goes backwards. It's a prequel to Blood&Bound.
Oh, you're going to do that to people?
What's that?
You're going to give them book 2, and then you're going to make them go all the way back before book 1?
Yeah. It fills in those gaps. It just brings it full circle. It's got to go. I like completeness.
But when they get to the end of book 2, though, won't that like be the end of the story?
It's the end of the Guardians of the Well of Firestone series, but there's a character in both Blood&Bound and Unbound, and she's kind of taken a life of her own, and so she's got a spin-off, her own little spin-off series. So you'll get to see some more of the characters through her.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at EL's comment there, and I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I wrote book 1 and then book 2 and then book 1.5 and then 4. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because my Becoming a Druid was a standalone that then became a 4-book series, and now I've written 4 books in the 7-book series. So
very nice. It just took off.
So when did Blood&Bound come out?
November of last year. So I actually, it's funny because we're with the SPFNO. I had heard about it last year when they were starting like for submissions. I was like, oh darn, I'm just missing it. Like I'm publishing in November, I won't have it ready. But next year. It's like, darn.
And you just missed it again.
I just missed it again, but it wasn't meant to be. So
that's okay. Next year. We know which book is going to win it all.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to have Unbound ready by then, and then it's like it'd be nice to put that one in. It works as standalone, so I don't know how that would be okay to like.
Yeah, if you're standalone.
Can you enter more than one book in this book though, and like double up your chances?
I'm thinking that's probably what's going to happen next year.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Have them both in there.
And
what's going to happen though, if they do that, if they allow that, people are going to put in like 3 to 4 books, and they're all going to make it, and then everybody's going to be really pissed that one person took up multiple slots.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I don't know that they'd let you. I think they limit it to 1 book per person, but
that's okay. I'd be happy with just one.
So it's fun this year watching because I'm not in it. Last year I was all, oh my god, and then now it's just like, oh, All these people who think they're going to win.
Mike, let's be fair. You were in it long enough to think that.
I was in it till about this time. Yeah,
Okay.
when they first started making cuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
The early cutoffs.
So
It's okay. I'm kind of happy. I'm not sitting here biting my nails either. Like, oh no, it's like, oh, that's a relief.
So how are you getting the word out there about it?
I'm on multiple social medias. I know they say find one, stick to it, find your one, and I'm like, no, I'm on like all of them except for TikTok because I don't video myself very much. Social media, I'm doing local markets in my city, in my area, and those have been really good because I've made a lot of connections with other authors and readers, and that's my favorite part of it, is just meeting other people who like to read books.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are you near the big city?
I am close enough, within an hour.
I love how out there in those prairie states, it's like, I'm really close, a mile away.
You know what? It's not across the country, so it's close enough that I can endure it. And I have Audible books going in my van when I drive for long periods, so I'm listening to Lord of the Rings at the moment, and that's a pleasant experience.
Have you ever read it before?
I tried when I was like 14 and I really struggled. So I'm like, everyone was like, try it on Audible. So I was like, okay. And now listening to it, Andy Serkis narrating it, I'm like, this is brilliant. I love this. So it just changes the experience.
I read it when I was a freshman, and I kept going, my God, how many different names does this Strider have? I'm like, I have to have a list. He's Elendil's heir. He's the, future king. He's the heir. I'm like, oh my God, just settle on 4.
All the titles. Yeah. I only just got to Strider's introduction, so that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, okay. Well.
Oh, you're just starting then.
What's that?
You're just starting out on it.
I'm fairly just started. Yeah, it's there was a lot though. There's like, the elves on the road, and then there was Tom Bombadil, and he drove me crazy.
Oh,
but
you don't have to deal with him again.
Have you seen the movies?
I have. I love the movies.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They're up there on my favorites.
What about the Hobbit movies? Have you seen those?
I have, and I like the first one. The other ones are slower for me. I like the origin stories.
Let's just call it what it is.
You don't like the Hobbit ones?
My favorite book. Love the Hobbit. I just don't like the movies 2 and 3. It's all the excess rubbish that they put in it.
And it is a lot. The book was good. I'm actually reading it with my son right now. He's 7 and he wants to read it. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure how much he's actually retaining, but.
So Trinity, I have a burning question I have to ask.
Okay.
They have cream for that, Mike.
Have you ever curled before, or curling? What do you call it? Are you a curling team? What does, I don't know what the verb here is.
You know what? I don't curl, and I think we did one session of it in school, like in our gym class, but I don't really enjoy it. I'm actually I don't even enjoy hockey. I don't know how I can call myself a Canadian.
My God.
I'm sorry, fellow Canadians.
Wow. Next you're going to tell us that you prefer log cabin syrup or something.
Look, I like camping outdoors and maple syrup. I like those things.
That's what I was saying. You're going to tell us that you don't like real maple syrup. You like that nasty stuff they sell in the store.
No, I like the real stuff. I put it in my coffee.
You put syrup in your coffee?
Yes, I do. It's very
awesome.
Good.
So blasphemy from can't pronounce that.
I'm sorry. I know other people are like.
And Bo has a question for you.
Yes.
That's one of the better questions we've gotten from this particular peanut gallery.
What character from the series would Mike and Roby be? Oh man. From the bit that I've read so far. That's really tough, and I don't want to be in anything that I say is a compliment. Please stay as a compliment.
Well, no, we're Gen X. We don't believe in insult. We just sort of rub our.
You cannot insult us.
Yeah.
You're not offended, okay?
You just try to go on. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I feel like I feel like Merry and Pippin. That's what I want to say. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the dynamic of like.
and EL, I am with EL here. They have curling at school. Nice.
Yeah. Curling in school. It's a short session, as far as I
get to be
remember.
Mary.
Anyway. Sorry.
So I get to be Mary.
Yeah. That was kind of how I was. It's weird. I don't.
There you go. You're up 4 on the Canadian score, Trinity. You're doing all right.
That's good. Maple syrup and coffee. That was my husband's idea.
Oh yeah. So you're saying Mike is
But I was thinking more fun.
Lobelia?
Mary.
I'm one of the proud feet.
You're Lobelia Sackville Baggins stealing all Bilbo's spoons while he's gone.
Is that me you're talking about?
No, Mike.
Oh, okay. I'm such an
Tim
honest
agrees.
person. I don't think that would be me.
No. You would have to be some type of elf or something.
I haven't come across any elves yet in the book, so
There are elves aplenty.
yeah, they're fun.
Are you pro elf or are you anti elf? Because some people are very determinedly anti elf.
Me.
As in, like, what does that mean? Anti-elf?
They hate elves. Some people really dislike these fictitious things that don't really exist. And
I didn't know that was I didn't know that was a thing. I'm
Yeah.
neither here nor there. I think elves are cool if put in the right context, because you can have there's that meme where you've got the elves from Harry Potter that are like house elves, and then you've got Lord of the Rings elves, and it's what are you looking at for elves?
Those are very different elves. But to be fair, I think the Lord of the Rings elves would enslave the Harry Potter elves as well.
They probably would. That wouldn't be beneath them.
I am very much a dwarf person, so I hate elves.
Oh, okay. Dwarfs, elves. You know what? I was like, when I was writing Bloodbound, I was like, should I put elves? Like, because I have a race of people that live in their hundreds and they have this magic. But I was like, I'm not anti-elves. I just didn't want to like call them elves because I didn't feel like that was accurate. So I was like,
I did the same thing, and if I could rewrite my first series again, I would just say, you know what, I'm just going to call them freaking elves and dwarves and be done with it.
Call it easy. It's Gimli. Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. I was like, man, if they just say Gimli, my night will be complete. But alas, I'm Pippin. Which
haven't come across Gimli yet, though, in the book. I haven't come across the dwarves yet in Lord of the Rings in the book. I was going based off of where I'm at in the book. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you had the whole thing to stretch out in front of you. That's all right.
I was keeping it accurate to what I know of the book so far. I couldn't say for the characters in there yet. Better than being Bill the Pony.
Good job.
yeah. So, are you happy you tried to prepare for this interview?
Yeah. I got really like, okay, I'm just gonna have to wing it. We're just gonna have to go with it.
Yep.
Yeah. There's sometimes where you do like the interviews where you have questions ahead of time to think through, and I was like, oh, okay, those are really great questions. Like, what would I say?
To be fair, we spent almost 20 minutes asking you about as serious questions as we ask. We have pretty much run through every kind of serious question that we would possibly get through. Unless you want to talk about, what a writing day looks like for you.
What a writing day! What writing day? I've got kids. No, it's so I guess it varies. For example, like right now it's summertime, so my kids are home, but there's a community club that takes them for 3 hours in the morning. So I'm like, okay, go play, and then I can sit down and write, and that's about the extent that I will get for the entire day until everyone goes to bed. But I'm not like a write everyday person. I will have ideas going through my head throughout the day all the time. And eventually when I sit down to write, it all just comes out on the page. It spills out of me.
Now, 5, 7, and 9, they're all on skates, I assume. I mean, not now, because obviously it's July. It'll be another 2 months before it's ice up there. So they're all skating.
I just bought my first pair of skates like last year.
But I guess my point really is, are the kids going to start getting into like hockey leagues and stuff soon? Because once they do that, all that free time you have to write, yeah, kiss that goodbye.
No, it's not free time. There's no free time. I have friends that have all their kids in hockey, and it's like, I don't have a life. It's like, I know.
Right.
We haven't, my kids haven't shown an interest in hockey yet. If they do, like, we'll do like the, signups maybe. It's also expensive, so I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Don't let them be the goalie.
Don't have to, yeah, right, all that equipment. Oh,
yeah.
I think my cousin always was, so.
Oh, let's see. John, congratulations on the new gig, man. Well done. New job at a vineyard, that would be, I guess I could be all right at a vineyard because I don't drink wine, so that would be okay. You find yourself sneaking a bottle in with you when you go to type, Trinity?
Actually, I don't drink, no. Coffee, maybe. Coffee.
Okay, that's fair. giant thermos full of coffee?
Yeah, that'll do. Or hot chocolate. All that sugar, Coffee assorted.
To go. That I'm assuming, name de plume, that your kids are on different teams then.
Just pass the hockey equipment down to the next kid.
Two goalies. I mean, yeah.
When they have their baby teeth, yeah. At least if they fall out, you're not worried about the big teeth coming out.
Yeah, 2 goalies and a second mortgage.
So if you don't play like hockey, more curling. So are there any?
I don't like ice. I don't like the ice. It freaks me out.
Oh.
And the skates, and I've always had a fear of like falling and someone like sliding over my wrist or something. It's like, and then I live by a lake and it freezes, and I know it's totally solid. Trucks drive on it all the time in the winter, but I'm like, nope, not a chance. I won't even walk on it. Like,
you're one of those people kind of like me that when you see something go through the ice, you kind of laugh and go, "You dumbass!" It's like it's just water.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Not as often as like you might think, but it does happen. The fact that it can happen.
Right, exactly. And people go out there like in April, and are yeah.
Pretty sure the ice fishing derbies are like end of March, and I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. This year it didn't even like freeze proper.
Lived up in Alaska for a while up by Fairbanks, and they have this big thing up there where they put this thing out in the middle of the river. It's called, and they place bets on it, right? You can put like $5 down on a certain day and time, and whoever comes closest to break up, right? When the ice breaks up enough to move that thing, they win the pot. And it's like worth thousands of dollars every year. It's a really big thing
waiting to happen.
That's how boring it is in Fairbanks, Alaska. Is that becomes a super big deal.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would be no thanks.
Trinity, I'm just glad that Bo is throwing shade your way instead of mine.
I'm Canadian, I am. I'm just definitely not an ice girl, that's all.
I don't know. I haven't heard a single boot yet from you.
It's funny because I was saying, like, my husband's Irish, so I married an Irishman, and his family like to point out that, like, we do say A lot. And I was like, we do? And then I was really hyper aware of how many times I say A. I was like, oh man, and I sound like Bob and Doug McKenzie too. It's like the typical, like, oh yeah, eh? Like,
Beauty, how's it going?
Yeah. So I've cut back on my, for the sake of my Irish family.
I just love the fact that you married a guy who knows Bob and Doug McKenzie are.
Yeah. They're,
$10 $10, eh? All right.
Tim McKay has your back, so there's that.
There you go. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. I can't be the only Canadian who doesn't like. I've never heard of boot. I never have either. I don't know why that's a thing. A boot out and about. Maybe in the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know. They. Yeah.
So if you ever for the general, not necessarily you, Trinity, but the folks here, if you ever want to play a drinking game that you will regret almost immediately and you won't finish, put put in Doug and Bob McKenzie's movie Strange Brew, right? And every time they say A, takeoff, or hoser, you have to drink. You will last about
No
5
hoser,
minutes in that game. It's a stupid, stupid game.
I believe that. I could see how that would be gone wild pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a really bad decision that becomes wildly apparent very quickly.
This is from experience, is it?
Much like coming onto this show.
Yeah. This is great.
It sounded like such a good idea last year.
Ugh. When you were disappointed because your book wasn't in SPFNO, you're like, yes, I'll take some notoriety.
Yeah, bring it on.
So do you have anything planned for, like, how sometime I'm assuming you're on Amazon?
I am on Amazon, yes.
Do you do any things where your books are available for like 99 cents, or you give it away for a couple days or anything like that?
I can't, unfortunately. I went through a publisher, like I paid publishers to publish it for me through Ingram Wholesale. And as soon as Ingram Wholesale has it, it kind of goes through like the wholesale distributors, and whoever purchases it from them gets to set their own prices, which includes Amazon and Walmart and all those fun places that buy it, sell it. So I don't get to change it on Amazon. Not with this one. Down the road, I'm like, I want to keep the look of Bloodbound with all 3 books. So I will probably continue to go with these publishers for the whole trilogy, but it was more like somebody had said, you're basically paying them to teach you. And that's kind of what I treated it like. I'm really learning how to get my foot in the door of publishing and what it all entails. And so now that I kind of have a better idea, I'm hoping that I can branch away from them for the future, like for next books down the line.
Hold your book up one more time real quick. Or just leave it there for a second.
Yeah.
Who did your cover?
Freeze and Press. They're the publishers.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And the formatting and all of that too. It's
They took care of everything for you.
They took care of everything. And so it was so worth it for me, because it was just like, otherwise I would have been paying out to have those done otherwise. But this was all in one place, neat and tidy, right there.
They give you an editor as well?
They do have an editor. I hired an editor like for my developmental and my line edit outside of them, because I found a fantasy editor who is fantastic. I love her. And like, as soon as I found her, I was like, you're perfect. Like, I need you forever. But Freeze and Press did the copy edit and the copy edit. So they do cover that too.
And does your husband read fantasy?
No, my husband doesn't read at all. He's not read it. He's like, I will. He did buy a copy. I mean, he bought one.
He bought one?
He bought one. I know.
You don't have like a dozen just lying around the house?
I have lots. It came up on Amazon for really cheap, like cheaper than what I can buy it for.
Oh,
so
right.
Like,
okay.
Colin, you have to buy one. You have to buy it because like it's really cheap. Like I can get it for less, or from like So he's like, yeah, I'll buy one. And then you hope that it messes with the algorithm a bit, and
I did that once on Amazon. They had my book for cheaper than I could buy it from my printer. Yeah. And they said only 8 available, which we all know is a lie because my book is print on demand. So I was like, you know what? I'm buying all 8 because I can't buy them this cheap.
That's exactly it. Mine said 3 available, but I made a post about it, and I was like, give somebody else a chance to buy it for less than what I got it for. I've got hundreds here, so.
Screw those people. You buy them all at the cheap price. That way the price goes up. The company says, oh, look at that. People are buying this book. We got to raise the price again.
Right, yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah. That's what happened with mine. Mine were like $5.44 for a paperback. So I bought all 8, and then the next day it was $15.
Wow.
Well.
Gone up quite a bit.
Yeah. So, is it time for a silly question, Ro?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Number 2. Pick one. A week at your day job or a week spent on adventure with your main character?
What's my day job?
Stay-at-home mom.
I'm sorry, I take my kids over my main character. But
probably wise.
But my main
That's
character.
a good answer. That's out of the way now.
Yeah, that's good.
You've
Yeah.
done your bit. You said what you had to say. So now what's the answer?
Now my kids. My main character wouldn't be very fun to go out with, to be honest. He's a bit serious. He's he's like me. I don't know. He's an interesting guy. That's all I'll say.
If he was going to go to a costume party, what would he wear?
Oh, he wouldn't dress up. He's that kind of guy.
One of those dudes.
He just wouldn't dress up.
I dressed up as me.
Yeah, dress up as yourself. That's a good question. I've never heard that one before.
That was quick. So we're going to do, let's see. In a horror movie, which of your characters would be the first victim? And how would they, wait, hold on. And how would they meet their demise?
In a horror, who would be the victim?
Yes.
My main characters. Probably the main character.
Who is the main character?
Raiden.
And what is he like?
What is he like? He's fearful. He's a fearful kind of guy. He has to be pushed to push his boundaries. He needs encouragement. His twin brother is the one who really gets the ball rolling and pushes him out of his comfort zone, makes him do stuff.
So, like, if this was Ro and I, it'd be who could knock the first one down first. That would be who, we'd both be trying to knock each other down. Whoever fell would be the one first victim. Is that what happens with these brothers, or?
No, they look out for each other. Sort of.
They're clearly not Gen X.
You know what? Actually, maybe it wouldn't be Raiden. Maybe because Dimitri would step in and say like, "No way, man!" Like it might be him just because he'd be the hero. He has to be the hero. He's the hero, so he's the victim. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
In an odd way.
In an odd way, he's gonna do the saving, but then do the sacrifice.
Who was the first of your characters to do something that you did not expect them to do? And what was it?
That would be Layla. It's an easy answer. Layla just like was a character that came out of the blue, right off the hop. I was like, it worked out that I was like, I need a character who's part of this elder race group, this elf-like race, to kind of see from their perspective where they're at. So I kind of was just like, oh, I'll just put her in there and give her eyes there. But then she just took off, and I was like, who is this girl? Like, so she's definitely the unexpected. Everything she does takes me by surprise as the writer.
And you let it happen, right? You didn't pull her back. You said, yeah, well, that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do.
We roll with it for the most part. I do rein her in some, just a little.
So are you an outliner or are you a pantser and you just sit down and let's see what happens today?
I'm a bit of a mix. I was, so with Bloodbound, like I said, I literally sat down and was like, let's write a book. And I wrote a book with no plan. Then now, like with the second and the third, I obviously have some kind of structure to keep it to because I have a basis to go off of. So I've become a little bit of an in-between where I have certain plots that I need it to make it to, but what happens in between is kind of a free-for-all. Let's roll with it right by the seat of my pants,
When's the next one due out, do you think?
The goal is spring of next year. It's okay. Completed, it's written, it's done, it's been with my editor already and everything. It's just going through a round of beta reading, and then it's just a matter of getting the cover and the
So it's done.
It is done. It is written.
Still looking at it nearly a year before. Okay.
It's because I'm going with the publishers and I know the process with them takes a long time.
Right.
It gives me a lot of time to promote Bloodbound still and get the hype on for Unbound,
There you go.
So, I'm very excited about a cover, and I'm like, if I just have a cover, I'm just good. I just need a cover.
You never get unexcited about a cover.
No, I don't. I believe that. So
I mean, I haven't written a word of my next book in the series yet, but I know I have the cover already. And even then, when it gets turned into an actual cover, it's still kind of a very exciting day.
yeah, well, that's good. It's good that it never loses its.
No, not
Trinity,
even.
I have an idea for you for the third book. That's the
Oh
prequel.
God. Oh God.
Okay,
Rebound.
Rebound. Sounds like it'd be a basketball book. I don't know. Was invented in Canada.
What? Invented in Canada? What are you talking about?
It was. Basketball was invented in Canada.
You're going to claim that?
I'm pretty sure I did a project on it in school when I was younger. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I always heard Massachusetts, but I'm going to give Massachusetts to Canada. So
I thought the guy was James Naismith or something.
Naismith, yeah.
You're gonna look it up. I'm gonna prove myself wrong here on here. It's probably
okay, so this says Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm wrong.
Hold on. Naismith studied and taught physical education at McGill University in Montreal until 1890 before moving to Springfield, Massachusetts. And later that year, in 1891, he designed the game of basketball while teaching at the International YMCA Training School.
Oh, okay. A Canadian in America?
Quebec. So Quebec is Canada adjacent, I guess.
It is technically Canadian.
I know it is, but they're annoying.
Yeah, kind of like New Englanders.
New Englanders.
Rose from Vermont.
Okay. Yeah.
9 miles from Quebec. So I will piss on the Quebecois all day. I don't care. Unless any of you are watching from Quebec, and then
yeah, like I don't badmouth. We're all friends here.
I still know my only French is the phone number to the radio station in Montreal. That's the only French I know to this day. I don't know why. What's that?
It's probably more than I know. We learned it as a second language here in school, and I could not recall. Like, we went to Quebec once, my husband and I. We took a road trip, and we ended up there. And I remember we were trying to get a room at I guess it was a motel thing. I don't know what it was. It was really weird. It was sketch. and the guy didn't really speak any English. And my husband and I have like the most limited French ever. So we're like, how much is it for a room? And he's like, room? That was all he understood. And it was like, okay, sure, a room.
The sad truth is they all know English. They're like North America's France, and they're just going to be that way. And when you leave, they're all speaking English perfectly fine.
Right. No, it's
But if you're ever in the area, and if you listen to classic rock, 97.7 Shom FM, 79007 is the phone number to call, 790-711. I have no idea why that is still in my brain 40 years after leaving there. No clue.
That's already gone from my head. As soon as you said it, it was like... And I love languages. I don't know what it is.
But the Sesame Street I got growing up was French, not Spanish, right? It was English with little bits of French in it, as opposed to what most people in the United States get with English with bits of Spanish in it. So, yeah, that's what we got.
See, I speak more Spanish than I speak French.
Have you learned any Gaelic at all?
A little bit, not very much. Like, it's not phonetic at all. So when I go to read it, I'm like, yeah, right, okay. But no, I know the basics, like Kanisanatu. No, I don't even know. I can't even say it right. Diagwich. Hello, or good day.
Has he got you any of those Irish drums and all that kind of nonsense?
The Bowron. The Bowron?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Bowron. No, it's not the Bowron. What? Sorry.
What's that? My husband has one. Yeah, he's a drummer, so he's got the drums.
Nice.
So have any of the kids taken interest in being a drummer?
We have a drum kit in my daughter's room, and they all go there and just hash it out sometimes. Thankfully, they're electric and they've got the headphones. So it's like, okay, we're good. In my house growing up, it wasn't so. We had an acoustic drum set, and both my brothers are drummers. And so it was like every night, midnight, I would fall asleep to drums, like in the basement I was like, it's fine. You just get used to it.
So they were good enough that you could actually fall asleep to it.
Yeah, they're eventually. I'll say eventually.
So when you get to the mines of Moria, that's going to really, you'll be living that experience just through memories.
The drums.
When you start hearing the drums from the deep, yeah.
I look forward to it. I love when there's music in writing. I read The Name of the Wind, and I find it so musical and lyrical, and I was like, that's what I love about it. Of course, he's a musician too, right? But
Bo, you are absolutely right. He's one of those things that just does not need to exist. If you want an egg, make a freaking egg.
See, that's funny. My husband says the proper pronunciation for crepes. He's like, they're crepes, but I'm like, no, they're crepes. They're crepes.
No, over in the UK, they're crepes.
Yeah, it would be the correct pronunciation. It's just the Canadian A coming out in me. Poutines, they are amazing.
I've never had poutine.
I was in Washington State a few years ago, and they had a food truck selling poutine, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at that!
They're so good.
Yeah.
You got to get like all the different kinds of poutines, like
Chips and gravy."
We have in our city there. There's like a poutine truck, and you can get poutine with curry or gravy, pulled pork or pulled chicken. You get it all kinds of ways. So
Pulled pork poutine actually sounds really good.
it's really good. Yeah. Now, are you looking for one now?
No, I'm looking for something. I don't really know exactly what. But...
Oh, throwing the shade, and it's not at me. This is a fun night.
Just
Seems overrated.
Crepes are very good, especially with a little lemon and some sugar.
It is, yes. My husband makes them like a master, so we do have our regular crepe nights.
Nice.
People would say that British food is no good. Is he Irish or Northern Irish?
He's from Dublin.
That tells me nothing. I'm sorry.
Not Northern Irish. He's Irish,
I'm American.
which is still Irish. It's just not from.
Okay, so he's not UK.
So what about pierogi poutine?
Yeah, that's the Ukrainian, and well, I've got Ukrainian ancestry, so we've definitely had that pierogi. Yeah, they're very good. Pierogi pizza, we've had that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't.
So I have to ask you now. You brought up pizza, and Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada.
Okay.
So what are your feelings on Hawaiian pizza?
I like it personally.
All the smart people do.
My husband doesn't. He's like, oh, pineapple on pizza.
Oh, it's great.
Like, it's so good. Yeah, he's a barbecue pizza guy. He likes barbecue chicken, and that's it.
How we get down this food thing? You're not
I don't know. I think I don't even know where that one came from.
It came from Bo with this one. Everyone needs to
yes.
order tacos, so it's Bo's fault.
Yeah. Tacos. Yo quiero mi Taco Bell. The little chihuahua.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people at work they missed all the good commercials.
I don't have anything where I get commercials anymore, so I'm going off of whatever's old in my childhood.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't really watch TV, so
No, I used to be obsessed with movies. Like I would just my collection is insane, and DVDs. Like I don't do the Apple TV, or I like it physical, like a physical DVD. Of course, they're phasing that out now, so it's getting difficult to find what I like. But that's all I would do when I was a kid, was watch movies all the time. My favorite was Matrix. Can you guess why?
Do you watch a lot of sci-fi and stuff?
Yeah, sci-fi is my favorite. You'd think fantasy, but sci-fi is my.
What's your favorite sci-fi show?
Show or movie?
Yeah.
I loved The Matrix growing up. I loved that there was a Trinity. I thought that was so cool.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
That one was my favorite growing up. I like the Expanse series on Prime. It's a good one.
The what series?
The Expanse.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that good? Because I've never seen that. I've heard it's good.
Yes.
It's very good. Yeah, I watched the series and then I read the first 3 books. I haven't continued from there, but I watched the series first.
So Trinity, I'm trying to think of a sci-fi book that you might like, but just nothing seems to come to mind.
You are shameless.
You know, it's funny because I saw it, and honestly, I'm like, that totally appeals to me. Like, I love that. It's probably something I will read.
Absolutely freaking shameless, man.
Are you just now figuring this out?
Don't tell Bo that until he can figure out the correct version of your to use.
Am I a fan of Jar Jar? No, sorry. When I was in elementary school growing up, there was a boy who came to school and he spoke like however Jar Jar speaks. Like that was how he spoke all the time. And I was like,
so he spoke stupid.
He did it on purpose. He was mimicking, but like I hadn't seen Star Wars at the time when I was young. I was just like, what is he doing? Like, why?
He still lives alone, I bet.
I don't know. I haven't kept up.
Even his fish don't like him.
What's his name? We'll look him up on Facebook.
No.
Come on. Tell me his name. So this will be fun. He's not watching us.
Trinity, I have a very perilous question for you.
Yes, okay.
Who is the hero of Harry Potter?
What's that?
Who is the hero of Harry Potter?
The hero of Harry Potter. That's a perilous question.
It is.
Not if you get it right.
Snape.
Oh, you made his whole week.
He is. I'd say he is. That's he played a good role.
See, he had to play both sides for years.
He did. That's impressive.
It really is. Yep.
So these are past ones we've had very passionate arguments on. Jar Jar.
I'm not really that passionate. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I just like arguing.
Sorry, I'm not one to argue on that one. I completely agree.
But I do believe Snape was the hero.
Yeah. Not Harry Potter, no. He just kind of went and was like rolling with it, taking whatever lot was given to him.
Yep.
Do you have another question, Michael?
Sure.
You want to pitch another one of your books or something?
Well, I have 4 others I haven't talked about yet. So how do you handle criticism and/or feedback from fans or non-fans?
Do you have fans? Let's start there.
Do I have fans? I mean, if you don't count my parents.
I'm not trying to be rude with that. I understand now.
No, I know what you mean.
It may sound sad.
Her book's been out 9 months, and you're like, do you have any fans?
Dude, my book's been out 6 years.
Do you have fans?
No.
I'm your fan. I'm a fan, Ro. I haven't read your books, but I'm a fan.
Thanks so much. I'll take it.
I think that I'd like to think that I take criticism well. Grain of salt kind of thing. Things, and not every book is a cup of tea. There's somebody's cup of tea, Yeah.
Wait. Hold that thought. 1 sec. Sorry. Is that like your mother joke? Did I miss something there with that?
I don't know. Is Flora my sister? Could be.
Kind of like somebody would have put your mama in there. I missed the lead up to that punchline. Flora, you're gonna have to explain yourself. Okay. Well, Flora.
My sister's name is not Flora, but that animation looks. What?
You know who that is?
No, well, Flora is not my sister. It could just be a.
Okay. Well.
The animation looks familiar.
You can finish answering your question while she types in her explanation of that.
Okay, yeah. I've only received, as far as reviews go. Okay, I've only received reviews like one 3-star review, and when I got, I was like, okay, that's fair. That's their opinion, that's just it. It's just their opinion, and that's okay, and that's everybody's entitled to that. It's not my place to go and be like, how dare you not like my books?
I know. What are you supposed to do? Like, no, you really did like it. You're wrong. I mean,
yeah.
That'll help
it was.
you out.
I had a bit of a like, that doesn't make sense. Everything like it was, one of those things. I was like, whatever. I try not to go and read the reviews because like, just never know if something's like, it could set your day off. Even if it's somebody's opinion, it still could like, just be like, it's kind of a bummer. But it's like, I don't go chasing them down.
I have to read them, but I had one where a woman, she like was upset about the book or whatever, and I read, and I was like, so basically you're mad that I killed your favorite character. That's what I've gleaned from this. And I'm like, okay, fair. I will kill more.
You got it. That's my job. I will make it my job in life to. Well, the one that was like a like 3-star, I was like, well, they can't have hated it that much if they give it 3 stars. But the review was like, it sounded like they hated it. I was like, okay, fair enough. I'm going off of 1 because I've only had 1 so far. It's same thing. It was like, I feel like something didn't sit well with them maybe, and that's fair. They're entitled to that.
Well, it also depends on the person, right? Because some people are like, 3 stars is a good book, right? 5 stars is held for, a tier that we would all go, oh yeah, okay, right?
Yeah.
And then 3 stars is a very good book. So some people kind of feel that way. So
yeah, I rate 3 stars when I like a book. If I hate it, it's below 3 stars.
See, that's always my pet peeve, because if you have a 5-star scale, then 3 is average by definition, and nobody wants to rate an average book. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's average. And some of these booktubers will tell you, 3-star means it was wonderful. I swoon. I'm like, no, it does not.
I enjoy if I rate it 3 stars, I enjoy the reading experience, but I won't pick it up again. That's kind of where I sit.
I'm happy, Mike, to write an average book if 1 million people buy it.
Yeah. Hey, it's all like the ones that I've rated 3 stars have all been like bestseller, popular books by like these big names that are flying off the shelves, and these are ones that like I've read and I'm like, I don't see it, but like then I read one by like some no name, like that nobody knows who they are, and I'm like, that was amazing, like.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question to tap into your contrarian side. What is a book that's wildly popular that you don't like, and vice versa? What is a book that is not, that is reviled, that you think is fantastic? I'll open it up. Book, movie, whatever. Song, I don't know.
One that's really, really popular that people love that I don't like.
What really popular thing do you hate, and what thing do you love that most people don't like?
Okay, so everyone's gonna hate me, or they already hate me for not liking hockey. Mistborn. I tried to read Mistborn, and like I got to the metals and the alloys and the explanations, and I was like, I can't. Like I just can't. And then this is halfway through the book already, and I'm like, I think I started with a really bad expectation. I had expected that Kelsier was the main character. I thought he was the main character, and so all the while I kept going back to Vin, and I'm like, why is it going to her? Like I thought Kelsier was the guy here. And then so it was kind of disappointing when I was like, my expectation was something this, and then I'm sorry, but it was my expectations. I'm totally blaming my Way of Kings. I have that one Audible, and my brothers convinced me to listen to it, so I am giving it a shot, because I'm like, I really want to like this series and these books that everybody loves.
When I read Mistborn and I got to the metals, the urge to open up a spreadsheet was so strong. I'm like, you know what? And when I was finished, I was like, they could have cut 300 pages out of that and made a much better book.
Yeah.
But, that's me and my...
I was kind of ready to throw the book across the room at that point. And I didn't really at that point, because I thought that Kelsier was the main character and it was Vin the whole time. I was like, well, I don't really care what happens to Vin. So, like, okay. It feels so bad then. No, it's that's one that maybe I'll give it another shot. In fairness, I gave up on The Name of the Wind at like chapter 9, and my brother talked me into picking it up again. So I just kind of kept going with like, oh, I'll just whatever, read it. I got to chapter 13 and I couldn't put it down. So like in there, yeah.
Okay, so what do you love that most people hate?
I don't know much that many people hate. I'm not like, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that people don't really like rave about how much they hate something as much as they rave about how much they love it. So I couldn't.
You haven't watched this show enough.
Okay. You know what? There's people who don't like Harry Potter. I guess I like Harry Potter.
No, I think enough people like. I mean, there are some things. I think, especially when you get into like movies and music and things like that.
Yeah.
Where you'll find.
Well, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, so I guess if we're putting it up for music, I'm like, ooh.
Oh, high five. All right.
Yeah.
So, Bo has a serious question for
Oh,
once.
no, why do you do this to us, man? You're killing the vibe.
Rate the following in order that is most important to you in a book: character, plot, world building. I really enjoy character as far as importance. I feel like for when I pick up a book, if I'm going to connect with it, I'm really going to have to connect with the character before anything else. The rest falls into place after. As far as plot and world building, probably plot and then world building. That's probably exactly how you have it written: character, plot, world building.
Oh, I would be the opposite.
World building, plot, character.
Really? You don't even use adjectives, man.
You know, I actually, the latest review I got, the person said there is a non-zero amount of info dumping in conversations that I may have zoned out on when talking about my book.
So
there is info dumping.
and he gave me 4 stars.
Okay, so he liked it.
Yeah.
I agree, actually, with you on the character, plot, world building. Characters is kind of like, that's the cake, right? And the plot is the icing, and the world building is just the decorations on top. It's nice,
like
but you know, it's really the cake that you're after.
Yeah,
Yes,
the setting in the world building is important, but it's there and it's lived in. It should be kind of felt all around through the things that are through the other parts.
But if the main character is a douche, you don't care, right? I mean, he could be living in mist, for God's sakes. It doesn't matter.
I've read a few books with some main characters that were not great, but like still love them. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, but you can, right? And I really appreciate a character that I loathe, especially in like movies when you really hate someone, because then you think about it and go, well, if I really hate them, they've done their job very, very well.
That's exactly
So,
I read a book, The Ferryman by Justin Cronin, and like the main character is like such a jerk sometimes, but I'm like, I wish I could get away with that. Like, I wish I could be like that snappy and mean to people, but then like people are, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. Like,
you're Canadian.
I am. I know.
It's not in your nature. You just apologize now for thinking that.
I think I apologize for a lot of things already in the show.
See, you can tell. So it'll be no surprise that Bo is not Canadian.
No apology. No. That's okay. You know what? I think I'm almost too much. Like, I have a friend in Germany. She was an exchange student who lived with us, and she's like, "You don't have to apologize, Trin. Like, stop apologizing." I'm like, right, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're German, they're like the least apologetic people in the world.
She's so fun. I love her bluntness. Like, I just like, it's fantastic. I need that.
Even Americans look at Germans and go, dude. Really?
Yeah. It's good to be forward, you know. You know what you want.
Yeah, you know, we're apologizing.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have to wait now then. You're saying we have to wait until next spring for the sequel.
Unbound.
You want to beta read or arc read, like.
And then what, another year and a half or so for the third one?
For Rebound.
The Rebound.
And
Yeah, working on that one right now.
you're writing that now.
It's that one's harder to write. It's actually really challenging me. So I'm like, I've got no time frame because it's just been one of those ones that I'm like, I don't like romance in stories. I don't like to write romance. I don't mind reading it sometimes. It's like one of those things that I'm, but this particular story, the plot requires more of it just because of the circumstances where it leads to. Let's call it a tragic romance. And I don't mean in the sense of like Romeo and Juliet. It's just like, it's got, that it's got the romance capacity, but it's tragic tale. So it's harder for me.
Mike's new book. You can get it now. And I'm chapter 18, right, Mike?
I love
Chapter 18. Yeah, that's cringy.
Oh, okay.
As in, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep it in the book or not, and Ro convinced me I should. I think I probably should not have listened to Ro.
I gave you a solid read. It's super cringy, though. It really is. It was hard to read.
Super creepy, you said?
Cringy.
Okay, cringy. Like a romantic kind of cringy where you're like, oh, like.
It was literally 50-50 of people like, you should take that out versus no, it's hysterical, you need to leave it in. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Go with your gut.
I left it in because I was like, well, I wrote it. I'm leaving it in because I put effort into that.
It's a good call. Yeah, cringe is fun.
It's important to the plot. It's important to the arc.
Yeah. That's good. It's if it adds to it, right? Like it's there. It obviously has its place.
I was glad when I edited that chapter for the last time.
I can see that. I have the bit of romance that I've been working on is like, I don't know, this doesn't feel like me. This doesn't feel like, but I do believe that there's an extent of like moving with the story, like there's only so much that we can like stop from happening that is not true to your characters and plot and what has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, people go through some cringy stuff, so it's all good.
So, Ro, would you like me to show the tattoo?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
So
for anybody, what? Do you want me to talk or you?
Because we're talking at the same time.
Yeah, I know, we do that a lot. Old married couple.
Very nice, very nice.
So 500 subs, and I'm getting this tattoo.
500 by the end of the year.
Yes.
So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Tell your friends to visit. They don't even have to watch the show. Just have them click the button. We don't care.
Yeah, my sister there, Flora, who's Beth. Hey, Beth.
So I had 3 coworkers who all did that. They said, we want to see the tattoo. We'll probably never watch your show, but we're going to subscribe right now. Yeah. So if you know why we got 3 subscribers today, that's why.
I just want to see the footage of Mike's face when the first needle goes in.
Right.
No worries.
He has once again started to question his life choices.
See, I don't have any tattoos, and I don't know if it's because I'm afraid of like the pain or if I just don't like have any ideas of what I would get.
Well, exactly. Like what do I like enough to have somebody actually ink on me permanently?
Mm-hmm. Can't say there's been anything that's really stuck with me long term. So like I had a henna that lasted like 2 weeks. And by the end of 2 weeks, I was like, hey, I want it gone now. Like, I'm done.
You don't want your children's faces on your arm?
No, that might be a little creepy because their faces grow and evolve. At some point, I'll be like, oh, yeah, hey, like.
Oh, see, when they're teenagers, you're going to be like, man, I remember when you weren't obnoxious. And I have a tattoo to prove it.
I don't know. Is there ever a time?
But don't forget, you're going to get older and your skin's going to start getting a little, as it does when you get older. So then you can just like make fun of them even more. And you can say, look at you now.
See all those like wrinkles. Yeah. It's accurate. No. It's I don't know. I know people that got their kids' names. Like, that's cool. That's cool. I don't even think I would do that. Just
right.
I don't know.
All right, Trinity, you can hold up your book one more time, and in your best American
Oh, sorry.
Information.
Trinity, sorry.
Tell people to buy your book.
Buy my book. I don't know what my best American is, but can I throw my best
No,
Canadian
it's not really the voice. It's more the attitude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't apologize.
Right. Buy my book.
Damn it.
I just had to get really serious.
Buy two.
No.
That's right. Your friend wants one as well. Christmas is coming.
There you go. Christmas is coming, and Unbound is spring. You got a whole, like, I don't know, what did you say, a year? Is it a year? It's not a year. It's like
It's almost a year.
No, 8-9 months.
Spring goes.
if I can push the
Oh.
like, if I could push it, I will. I'll be like on their case, like, come on, Snappy, like, let's go.
Oh, sorry. If it's Canadian spring, then that's what, May or June? So
Oh yeah, I guess that's well, I like
I hate to tell you this, Mike, but spring actually runs until the 20th of June.
it's the first year.
Even here.
Yeah. Well, okay, like not June, like earlier, like April. April is like the
okay.
Florida says your American sucks.
Thanks.
Most
sorry,
people would
I
say that's
don't-
an okay thing. Most people would be okay with that.
Thank you for that. Yes, you know what? I'm not American, so I could get away with it sucking. Here we go.
Oh.
I'm not American, and just to prove it, I'm going to go get some free health care. My God.
Our healthcare system isn't great. It's free, but it's like lineups. Like you
Get
can't
what you
get
pay
it.
for?
What's that?
Get what you pay for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that. Yeah.
All right. There are pros and cons on both sides.
There are. Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's got its pros and cons, as you said.
Well, next year, Trinity, we hope that you can come on and show us your new book and tell us all about how excited you are for it to be in SPFNO.
Yes, I would love that. I would love it.
And then you have to start on a sci-fi book so you can be in the space boat.
Yes, you know what? I have a sci-fi planned. Actually, I
Nice.
do.
And
It's
are you going to go?
What?
Are you going to go full indie on that one?
Yes, that's the goal. It's
Yeah, alright.
It's got an alien. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, cool.
And here, Tim McKay clarifies for you. This is what I was meaning. You know,
We had
if it's
snow
snowing,
and-
it's not spring. I don't care what the date is.
as soon as it melts, that's when it's considered spring.
Spring
And it-
skiing, baby. Come on now, Michael.
It's usually April, except this year it did extend very long. But we didn't get it till like end of December, January. So
A good cold spell in April with a little bit of snow does wonders for the sap.
yes. All that maple syrup in my coffee.
That's right.
Things I did not think would be discussed today.
You've got to have that cold, gotta have that spring cold snap to get good sap run.
Yeah.
Andrew, welcome. You're just in time for us to say goodbye.
What's that? Like,
Thank you, Trinity, for joining us. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Show the book one more time because Andrew's here.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay, yeah. Here's blood. But I'm not gonna do my bad
No,
impression.
you
I'm
don't
just
have to
gonna
do that
stick
again.
me.
She would like you to please consider purchasing it.
Yes, it's excellent. It's lots of fun. Raiden is a fun guy. Sometimes.
Do not
serious,
answer
but,
this question. Do not answer this question. By
We'll,
the way.
we'll have this last question, then we'll go.
I don't know what that is.
Captain Janeway.
Star Trek Voyager?
Okay, you know what? I never watched like the old Star Trek. I like bits and pieces, and then like the movies with like Chris Pine. You know.
Good answer. Good.
I've never
Safe.
heard Voyager called the old Star Trek before, but that's fair, I guess.
I had the old school. You know. I'm sorry. Just
The
not
90s
my
were
generation.
old school.
I was born in
Janeway
the
is old
90s,
school. What the hell is Kirk?
but old school.
Hmm.
It's
Uh,
good. It's good. Old school's a compliment. Don't you know?
Thanks. I'll take that.
We've got no choice now. We have to. It's,
I
Okay.
feel like everything I say could be twisted to insults and being mean. Like, and I just want to apologize.
We
Oh
are
my goodness.
uninsultable.
This is Canadian purgatory, isn't it?
Mike had a good joke. Let's end it there.
Okay. Now it's time to wave awkwardly, everybody.
Okay,
Thanks for joining us, folks. See you tomorrow night.
thank you.
And we're still live.
No, we're
We're
not.
still live, baby.
We're still live.